We have a mental health culture where we assume most things are a mental health illness. In page 186 of your book, you say, I've become convinced that the way we tell our personal stories is a marker and predictor of mental health. Now, if you live in a society where everything has a label and it's a disease or an illness, or, I don't feel good today, so I've got this disorder and therefore I need this medication. I guess there's two questions. Is my assessment of the situation correct? And B, is this a bad place to be in a society where we think everything, every feeling we have, we think everything that makes us different is a deficiency?
Let me start let me answer this by talking a little bit about the role of language and narrative, because I think this is very fascinating. And, as a psychiatrist and a therapist, that is my bread and butter, right? Is narrative, how people tell their stories.
Mhm.
By giving language to our experience, we gain awareness of our conceptual models of the world.
Okay.
Okay. And what I have learned over time is that the way people tell their stories is a window into their model of the world, and that there are healthy narratives and not so healthy narratives. And in general, in my clinical experience, when people come into the room and they tell their life story in such a way that they're always the victim of other people and circumstance in the world, those are people who are, number one, not doing well, and number two, not going to do well going forward unless they change that narrative to acknowledge what they've contributed to the problem. And the reason for that is because the way that we narrate our lives is not just a way to understand our past, it actually is our roadmap for the future. So if I see myself as a victim, and that's my narrative, I will literally create victimhood for myself going forward. I will literally change my sensed experience so that whatever happens, I'll make sure I end up as a victim. When people with severe addiction get into recovery, one of the most palpable changes that I see is the way that they narrate their lives. They go from, in addiction, talking about their lives as if it's always everybody else's fault, to in recovery, talking about their lives in a way that says, oh, you know what? I could have done better here. Or, you know what? That's something that I keep doing that really messes with my life that I want to change, and I'm going to figure out how to change that.
Why is it so